All right, Classic James, let's bring it home.
All right, how's everybody doing tonight? We're going to do a little bit of EarthBound all photos, aka photo percent here, but we're going to have to start off with the naming that you guys have donated for. So I'm going to go ahead and ask what's leading for the names here. So for Nessa's name, what do we have?
So you may not be surprised, we have Sans.
Okay, of course.
Which one at $15?
Got the good old Nessa's Sans memes going. I like it.
And so he's putting a space at the end of the name because that's very important for some manipulation going on early on.
Yes. So for Paula's name?
We have capital A, which one at $5.
All right. Simple. I like it.
It's what you name her always anyway.
And for Jeff?
Jeff's winning name is at $50. Bad. B-A-D.
Ooh, the Jeff hatred starting already. We'll get into that a little bit more down the line. And then for Pooh's name?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this. Which one? The winning entry at $10 was Poop.
Very mature. Very mature. I like it.
It's EarthBound, man.
And then for the pet's name?
The pet's name at $1, Callie.
Better than nothing. And then for food?
Also Callie.
It's short for calamari, obviously.
Absolutely.
And then for favorite thing, which is our PSI ability.
The winning entry at $25 is Relief.
Nice.
Capital R-E-L-I-E-F.
Oh, that's you missed the
Oh
L.
gosh. Typos all over the place.
The RNG manipulation has failed.
All right, so does this look all good? Sans, A, Bad, Poop, Callie, and Relief.
Just double checking here. Yep, looks good to me.
All right, let's get going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Go, James.
So for EarthBound photo percent, it's a heavily glitched category. It was kind of created as the closest thing to 100% because the photos are the only things that the game really tracks. So it's sort of a nice cross between a short glitched any percent run and a full glitchless run because we still have to see a lot of the run. But Ghost mentioned that I put some spaces in there for names that were short of the full capacity there. That's because I routed a special marathon manip that has full-length names because anytime letters are printed on the screen, it's going to be altering RNG. So your options are either to do the one-letter names, which saves the most frames, or you would have to have options for every possible combination, which would never be doable. So if it's all just the full-length names, I can go from there. And at this first about 4 minutes, I'm actually not manipulating because it would have been nearly impossible to plan for how many cursor movements I had to do on the title screen there. So first things first, we're going to grab the cracked bat here from Tracy's room. This actually, we don't use it for any reason in this run, but we won't be able to leave the house later if we don't pick it up. And if we don't go ahead and equip it, we'll actually get more dialogue that takes more time than just equipping it right now takes. And the first little bit here, there's no random encounters. You're just meant to kind of walk around and explore a bit and make your way up and meet our favorite character in the game, good old Pokey. He's up there giving the cops a hard time. If you do sit here and talk to these cops, they'll let you know a little bit about what ONET is known for, specifically their top-tier barricade system they got going on. But we have our own way of getting through that later on. It'll be a fun little glitch.
So there's a lot of neat things I think that EarthBound really brought to the table as far as RPGs go at the time. This was one of the few RPGs at this time, along with like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, and I think Chrono Trigger came a little later, that actually don't have random encounters. All encounters that you will encounter are on the overworld, and there's a whole bunch of like movement manipulation strats that are in this run to kind of alleviate that.
Yeah, exactly. The manipulation, thankfully in this run we're able to do hard reset, so it makes manipulating a lot easier. So every time we do a hard reset, it resets the RNG. But essentially, anytime any letter is printed on screen, it'll advance the RNG. Anytime NPCs start moving, stop moving, enemy spawns can affect it. And then there's also a movement-based RNG, which is just picture a big 64 by 64 pixel grid, and anytime you cross into the next square, it's going to be moving that movement-based RNG. So if anyone hasn't played this game casually, you might be wondering what photos we're talking about here. During the course of a normal playthrough of this game, you'll get this random dude that drops down from the sky and takes your picture to commemorate your journey, and it seems pretty random on a first playthrough, but they're all going to be in set spots every time. And there's a total of 32, but 31 we can collect, and then the 32nd one is automatically put into our library at the end. And the timing for this category actually doesn't end on the final prayer of Gygus. It ends when we talk to Mom at the end, because that's what triggers the photo cutscene, or the photo credits. So there's actually quite a bit we do after the final boss in this run.
So kind of one of the things that I understood when I talked to Andy Perfect and Ultimo Ice, who both ran this game, and this category specifically, is this was sort of devised as a hybrid category in between any percent, which is incredibly broken and can be beaten in under an hour, and glitchless, which is a much more thorough playthrough of the game. So it's sort of an in-between that shows off all the glitches, but does actually kind of have an objective where you go around to really explore EarthBound, not only as a heavily glitched run, but also as a very charming world. Like that kind of nice in-between.
So thankfully Dad here gives you a save without having to specifically save. So we're going to do a hard reset here and reset the RNG. And I just realized I didn't introduce my couch here. We got Ghost Kumo doing a lot of the talking, and my wife, Classic Tiff, back there, she's going to be making sure I don't forget any photos along the way, because we wouldn't want that. So you saw me do a little check there. All of the checks and the ABs and everything is just to make sure I'm getting the results I want to see on this walk up the hill.
Just wants to make sure there aren't any problems here.
Got time for a donation?
Absolutely.
All right, we have $80 from Trotline Beer Can. This is in all caps, so I hope I do this justice. Let's go! Thank you so much. We actually broke the $300 mark here at the 26,000 also mark. Nice. Getting closer to 27, guys. Thank you so much. Let's keep going.
So this snake down here is telling me that I'm on the correct RNG right now, which is good. I moved up a little bit there. I'm trying to drag Pokey slightly farther to the right because Buzz Buzz starts talking when he reaches Pokey's head, not Ness. And here you get the first kind of intro to the plot of the game here. Buzz Buzz comes from 10 years in the future. Doesn't seem that far to me, considering what he's talking about, but comes from 10 years in the future telling you that you're the chosen one that's going to save the world here, but you're going to have 3 friends that you find along the way. And of course, Pokey over here, he wants to make sure that he's not one of those 3 friends you're talking about, because he is not into the hero thing.
Yeah, his family is a bit dysfunctional. He's kind of got the little brother who sees him as like the older brother, but he's not a very responsible older brother. And you'll kind of start to see over the course of the game that Pokey really is not he's not a very good neighbor. He's like the the neighborhood brat in a lot of ways.
So spawns are turned off right now, which also means that the movement-based RNG is off, but there is a tight little movement there because there's some NPCs moving off screen.
And so what all does advance RNG in this, by the way?
It's anytime you open, close the menu, anytime letter is printed on screen, NPCs moving, enemy spawns, and then the movement-based RNG. So this fight, it's impossible to lose to, essentially, but we're trying to make it as fast as possible here, so we want him to be guarding on every turn. And I also want my HP to be at 33 if possible, because that was going to set me up for my manipulation for the rest of the run. Alright, so we got that fight. We have a little bit of a breather now, and we're going to get our first photo coming up pretty soon as well. So Buzz Buzz took down that big scary Starman from the future that came just to get him. And he did it with ease, but he's no match for this next boss that we're about to encounter right here. So Pokey and Picky's parents are have some very interesting names here, Lardna and Aloysius. And just look at them, man. I mean, you can't help but feel bad for those guys. And that when he took the kids upstairs, that was censored a bit in the North American release. In Mother 2, it sounds a little bit more like some actual child abuse going on.
So Lardna thinks Buzz Buzz is a dung beetle. I don't even know how, and just knocks him to the floor, and he's now giving us his dying words.
Yep, no match for the fly swatter of Lardna there, even though he's got all these psychic abilities. Now, if you're not careful here, you can actually sit here and listen to Buzz Buzz's story forever, because this next option he's going to say, do you want me to tell you my story again? But the way choices work in this game is A and L always say yes to any option. So if you're not careful there and you're just mashing, you're going to sit there and hear Buzz Buzz's story over and over again. So about half of the photos in the game, this is actually what triggers them being there. Like if I had come over and tried to get this photo earlier, it wouldn't have been here, but now that Daytime Onet happened, it's available. So here's that photo man I was talking about. Fuzzy Pickles.
We don't have the peanut gallery behind us anymore to go, picture! Stop!
This will be a bit more of a chill run. So I'm going to stop here and get the map. We're going to be doing a lot of out-of-bounds glitching later. There's two items that can potentially bring me back in bounds, the map being one of them, and the Soundstone being the other. The map is about 2 seconds faster than the Soundstone, but it only brings you to a handful of places. But I'm going to use it enough that it actually makes it worth it to stop over there and pick it up right now. And then I'm picking up this Mr. Baseball cap here that a lot of people seem to have missed playing through this casually. It sells for almost $100, and that money is very, very useful right now since we've only fought one enemy so far. Picking up this burger for keeping me alive down the line. I'm going to need that. And then this new barricade skip is still less than a year old, and it really opened up the glitched categories quite a bit. We used to have to play through all of Onet. Took about 18.5 minutes. And it was discovered that we can use the Sprite overload glitch. I'll try to explain it a little bit here. So, as with most Sprite-based games, there's a limit to how many the game can handle loading at a time. So, if we use our manipulation here to try to spawn as many possible random spawns here, one of the barricades will actually replace one of the sharks that are spawned by the arcade. So, just keep your eye on the truck coming up. Alright, truck, and barricade. And that cuts about 10 minutes off of the run. So it's fantastic when that was discovered. Big shout outs to Pirohiko the Tasser and also Oxwas who came up with this great hotel manip. There is a single segment manip now which is faster, created by Erythium, but I wouldn't call it super marathon safe, so we're going to stick with that one. So we're going to be doing a couple things here. I'm going to pick up some skip sandwiches, which are going to be needed for the next glitch that I do. And I'm also going to pick up some cookies. One of them is for manipulation, and the other ones are just for safeties down the line.
The Onet scenario, or Onet, people call it different things. I think it's supposed to be a pun on names, because Onet, 2, 7, 3, and 4 side. But that whole scenario, there's a whole lot of, like, you deal with these punk kids at a arcade. You have a whole bunch of boss fights. You have to deal with the police. It's a fairly lengthy scenario, so being able to skip past that actually is kind of an immediate difference between this and glitchless. And a lot of no category of this game is particularly easy, but it's we're gonna be doing things a little bit lower levels, so the manipulation definitely helps.
Yes, but it saves so much time being able to skip all this early game stuff.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be here until a couple hours into your casual playthrough.
I am going to be doing a safety save here. There's a spawn tile coming up that's only an 8% spawn. So we could obviously say it's not likely to happen, but we know how marathons go. And if it does happen to spawn on top of me, I'm done for. And it would put me all the way back in ONET if I didn't save here. Oop, hippie manippy going on there. We can, if we see random spawns like that, we can just try to scroll them off screen. So these first two here, I just have to wedge myself into this corner and then tap left and down. I don't really want to use another skip sandwich right now, so. You don't need a skip sandwich on those first two, but it makes it a little bit easier. This third one, it is required, though.
Let's go.
Right. Not too bad. The second one was pretty bad, but the third one was good. So we're not supposed to be coming from this side of the tunnel. So rather than pushing us back the other way, it drags us into Threed. And we'll see if we get that 8% spawn. We didn't get it. Very nice. So far everything's going fantastic. I'm going to pick up this skip sandwich here for a little bit more safety down the line. And then I'm going to make a little bit, I'm probably got some people in the EarthBound community that will give me a hard time for this save, because as long as I play perfectly here, I should never die. But sometimes you try to take it a little risky, and again, it would put me all the way back in Tucson if I died in the graveyard here.
I haven't seen anyone do such a thing yet, but I guess there's always an opportunity.
Yeah, and again, like Ness is level 2 here, so any enemy fight here is just gonna, there's about a 1% chance on some of these enemies that you'd be able to run away on the first turn, but if you don't get that 1% chance, they're just gonna get you. So of course, when I did that safety save, I got a very easy walk up here. The biggest thing I'm worried about is flies hiding behind the trees. You can usually use the lag to determine if they're up there. Oh, there he is. So we're actually going to death warp back. Since I already triggered those zombies, this isn't that bad. So we're going to death warp back to the hotel. If I hadn't triggered the zombies, I would have had to do this whole thing again. But yeah, so not the end of the world. So now I'm very happy that I made that save, because that fly just swung all the way around top, so I couldn't do anything about him there. So we get this creepy music. We don't know why, because I'm coming from the inside of the hotel. Oh, there she is. So I think the game is in a very subtle way trying to teach you about stranger danger here. What do you think? You shouldn't follow strange women into strange rooms, or this is what'll happen.
Yeah. If you haven't gathered already, this is a very silly video game. It's like, I've always likened this game as, like an RPG, there's a whole lot, like, there's some simple aspects of the game, but, like, as an experience, it's really one of a kind. Like, if you haven't played this game casually, I definitely recommend it. At least once, just to experience how silly and ridiculous this game is.
Absolutely. And don't do what I'm doing. Talk to all the NPCs. The dialogue is just amazing. Bad. We need your help. So I don't think I even mentioned there. All of a sudden there was a girl there with us in the cave, and then she disappeared. The game doesn't actually check to see that you rescue Paula the proper way. So when we do things out of order like this, it just goes ahead and puts her in the party. So once we complete the next section, Paula will be there with us for the rest of the run. So this is a good time for donations if you got any. Not much going on here. I just have to go through a bit of a required fetch quest.
I don't have any at the moment. I mean, plenty of opportunities for you guys to engage in all sorts of Mother/Earthbound memes of your desire.
Oh, and I should mention that there is still one naming incentive open.
Yes, that is correct. It is the player name incentive that will be later on the run.
Yes, I think I'll cut that off about an hour in, just to make sure that we know what we're gonna do. It's probably about an hour, 10 minutes that I have to put that in, hour and 15.
Yeah, for those of you that are in Twitch chat and can type in Twitch chat, !names, that'll take you to a bit.ly link. Let me try to find it real quick.
Yeah, do we know what's currently leading for that one?
Oh, yes. Currently, there are 2 names in here right now. One, the leading name is Jeff is a Trash Can with $35, followed by Maugs, M-A-U-G-S, with $12.50.
Man, not a lot of love for Jeff, huh?
That one I actually looked through the donations. That one was Erythium.
Yes. So there's a love-hate relationship with Jeff, I think, in the EarthBound community, because he's required for so much of what makes the speedruns fast, because his bottle rockets are very OP. But because of that, he also has the biggest chance to let us down. In this particular category, there's a bit less chances for him to let us down, but it's still possible.
And just a reminder, guys, we have a lot of prizes available. For instance, we have game keys available for Just Shapes and Beats, as well as for Double Cross. Those are with $5 total donations or more. Not each, just in total. I believe it's all cumulative.
So normally in like a glitchless run, you would see us going in there and picking up Bubble Monkey.
No, not Bubble Monkey.
But thankfully, with some other new developments that were recently found, we're able to finally get rid of that particular character from our photo percent runs.
There's a bit of an emote that's popular in the EarthBound community, just titled "Wanted for Crimes Against EarthBound Speedruns." That is Bubble Monkey.
Yeah, since I'm not picking him up, it seems silly to waste a lot of time explaining why we hate him so much, but he just essentially makes very easy spawn skips nearly impossible. So I have to stay in this tent for the photo out here, but it actually accomplishes 2 things. Because if you fix this broken spray can, it goes from selling for $94 to selling for $250. So that's going to enable me to buy some skip sandwiches here for the cliff skips I was talking about. So here we got photo number 2 coming up.
Fuzzy Pickles.
So when I go back up to the top, hold on, let me wait for the Fuzzy Pickles first. So
Nicely done.
the best way to get back up to the top is really to do a death warp here. The spawns are kind of ridiculous in this section. So I'm looking for a goat. That's the best case scenario here. If I can't find one, then a dog will have to do. Let me try it one more time to see if we get a goat. There we go. So he should make pretty quick work of Jeff here, and this'll put us right back up where we jumped over the fence. So the cliff skips that were found recently, we know all kinds of cliff skips in this game, but it was originally kind of thought there was none in this early part of Winters that could do us any good. But there's a special kind of cliff skip. Oops, I gotta sell my stuff first. There's a special kind of cliff skip that's a different kind of cliff skip, and it's a little over my head as far as why it works in the code of this game. But it's an arithmetic error, and we're essentially gonna try to get into a position and then mash up and left, and eventually we're gonna try to ship Jeff's subpixel through the cliff, and he'll just walk over the other side of it. I do a safety save there just in case I run out of sandwiches here, because that would be pretty bad.
So to kind of... This one gets brought up in a lot of speed games, but for anyone kind of unfamiliar with a subpixel, there's actually units smaller than a pixel that measures characters, and these are kind of invisible, and you really can only see them when you start really looking hard at the game's code, but there are ways to align yourself to get yourself some of the correct subpixels. Sometimes there's setups, sometimes you just have to brute force it. There we go.
All right. Yeah, that one just takes a while. There's not a ton you can do about it. I'm happy I got that one in one sandwich, though. It'll make me breathe a little easier on the next one. Now, the second section, there's another arithmetic error one like that, which is the one I'm going to be doing, because I like the setup that Daniel RGT found for it. but there's other ones that are faster, and it's looking like there might be a good setup for it, but I haven't been able to spend enough time with it to see. I walked over to the right there to despawn a cave boy here.
Can I make a quick comment?
Sure.
So I didn't make it quite clear like how the naming incentive works for the last incentive we have here for the player name. Currently, that's Jeff is a trash can at $35. Whether you like Jeff being a trash can or not, if you just simply put in what you want that player name to be in your donation comment, we will add that ourselves. We don't have like that's currently not in Tiltify. So it's still an open incentive. We have about 35 minutes left or so, give or take.
And that one goes up to 24 characters, so you
you can name it what. You have a lot of leeway here.
We had Reggie give us Mother 3 for a while at SCDQ, so you really get something like that going.
Sorry, that cave boy was standing right on my photo there.
I like that he's called Cave Boy. This like does not
Yeah,
look like
if
a boy.
we think that Jeff is a boy, then what kind of a boy does that make the cave boy? Oh, Fuzzy Pickles. Sorry.
It's late.
I've already failed at my job.
I'm surprised we don't even have some Fuzzy Pickles donations yet. I'll be happy to read them.
Get those Fuzzy Pickles in
Yeah, let's
there.
get
Yeah,
that going,
if you
guys.
get them in, I'll read them off at the appropriate time.
So here Jeff sees his father for the first time in about 10 years. And he doesn't even recognize him at first. He offers him a donut. If I were to say yes, he wouldn't give me a donut. He's just offering for some reason. And then he quickly gets uncomfortable and tells you to go away in his rocket ship, and you'll see him again in 10 years. So
Basically, all the relationships in this game are very questionable.
how can you hate Jeff when you know that about his backstory? So this is a big, long cutscene here. I don't know if we have any donations, but it's
Not
about
yet.
2.5 minutes here. I'll explain a little bit about what's going on in this section. So the way that you can out of bounds in this game, it all revolves around stairs. The earliest stairs we're going to see in this run is in the cave after Jeff rescues Ness and Paula. And there's two ways you can accomplish the out of bounds glitch. One of them is you step onto stairs at the exact moment that an alert box pops up. And the other is if you save, die on stairs, and then reopen a save file, you'll automatically be out of bounds. So at first, the only way to accomplish it is with the alert box popping up on the stairs. So I'm going to take a fight when I first leave the cave, and I'm going to have Jeff and Paula die, Ness catch a cold, and then go down to only 6 HP. So as soon as he gets his next damage tick down from that status ailment, it'll pop up with an alert box. So we're hoping, if everything goes as planned, that we'll step onto the stairs right at the right time.
You are a cruel person for doing that.
These kids are put through the ringer.
Yes. And so EarthBound is set up all on one big giant map, and that's why we're able to go from one area to the next so quickly. And that's why Out of Bounds can make this run so short. The current any percent record is 48 minutes, and it's just kind of crazy that you can complete the required flags in this game in that amount of time. The only things actually required to beat the game in that sense are you have to drop down into Lost Underworld, which is a weird one, because that puts Dr. Andonuts in Saturn Valley. And then you also need to beat Ness's Nightmare, and you need to go through the Phase Distorter into Cave of the Past. Those are the only things that are actually required. Because you can get to Gygus. Sorry, I'm yapping away here. I need to make sure I pay attention to this NPC down here to tell me if I'm on a backup. I want him to move right, but if he moves down, it's okay as well. So that's good.
Nice.
So, what was I saying there? I lost my train of thought, I apologize. But we're about to come up to this heavily manipulated section, so I want to make sure I pay attention here as well.
It's very important to really just stress there is a lot you need to account for in this run. Like, EarthBound itself is not a particularly fast-moving game, per se, but there is so much that goes on in this particular run that he has to be able to account for so many different scenarios. He has to be able to account for backup scenarios. It's a lot to keep track of, and it's something that really comes with experience.
So you do have to say yes, that we want Jeff to join the party.
Oh, no.
As much as people might want me to say no and take the time loss, can't do it. So you can skip this text here on the door, but for manipulation purposes, it's better to just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, pretty much everywhere in this game is on one giant map, and you just kind of warp here and there between them. It's kind of an impressive programming feat that I think, I believe was largely due to the late Satoru Iwata, who did a lot of programming work on this game. And for the speedrun purposes, it really gets exploited pretty heavily that you can do that here. So you're going to see that here in just a moment.
Alright, so the thing I was most worried about is over now. I do still want to nail the timing on these stairs, but as long as I get out of that fight, we've got some backups here.
Yeah, so cold functions a lot like
And
poison.
there we go, out of bounds.
Very nice.
Sans really a bad. I'm done.
So
I actually used the map a little bit early there. It's not a problem. This stuff isn't manipulated anymore. But I am going to be doing another stairs glitch here, and I foolishly, my best option I thought was an audio cue, so I'm hoping it all goes okay.
yeah, cold works a lot like poison in other games, where every few steps you take damage. So that's going to be incredibly important for this run.
Yeah, unfortunately I opened up that map there and it gave me those spawns. I think I forgot another Fuzzy Pickles. I don't know what I'm doing here.
We got your back.
Alright, so this is the audio cue I'm talking about, so I need a little bit of quiet here. Got it. So for any musicians out there, what I was doing is I was waiting for the tick to make the screen flash there, and then I was waiting for the "and" on 7 of the
Gotta
music.
get the Donkey Kong people in here.
2 and 3 and
Exactly.
yeah.
I'm gonna do another one here for picking up the Hawkeye out of bounds. Because you can actually grab the Hawkeye without loading the area or anything, and it is required for photo %.
I kind of hear him kind of crossing into a bunch of different maps. You hear the music playing from all sorts of different places if you're familiar with where these soundtracks normally play.
So I was a little bit early there, but not a big deal. Just an extra check.
Let me know when you're ready for donations.
Right now it's great.
We have a $10 donation from the Hatter saying Fuzzy Pickles.
Perfect time.
Fuzzy Pickles. So this is a little bit of a weird glitch. You're not going to see this in any other category right now currently. So how the stairs work is if you go from the top of the stairs, you can go upwards. If you go from the bottom of the stairs, you can go downwards. But if you go into an area that will cross you above or below where you're supposed to be, so in my case, I went from the bottom of the stairs, this is going to transport me above where I was. And so I'm actually going to be sort of in a glitch state, but then I'll use the sound stone and it'll bring me all the way back to Summers. So what I did there is I got some stuff that I know I'm eventually going to need to do anyway. And then I'm going to come up here to this four-side bridge, and this is actually the trigger for the four-side teleport location. So now I'll be able to teleport into four-side as soon as I get... So you hear the Summers music there in four-side. So now I'll be able to teleport to four-side whenever I want, and it's a nice little time save there. I'm going to try to stay on the beach here. Spawns are really scary up top. Oh, I was feeling lag, but it was actually coming from the beach. but it doesn't matter. I have to wait for this HP to tick down anyway. So here I'm going to be setting up my second save file that I'm going to be using for Out of Bounds for the entire run. So I wait for HP to tick down to 1. And what that does is every time I do this death file for Out of Bounds, it's not going to pop up with an alert box that wastes time. So here's the mechanic I was talking about. We're going to be seeing this happen a lot throughout the course of the run, so just get used to a kid that doesn't know how to use stairs. And so you're going to go ahead and say no here. You don't want to give it another shot. And yes, that's okay. So that's the equivalent of a soft reset, which is okay in any single segment category or anything. Soft resets are always okay. And then when we open up the file again, we are out of bounds.
Nice.
So I just remembered I actually changed this route slightly. But now I'm actually going to Delam to pick up our 4th member already. And normally you would go through this whole sequence where you eat the magic cake in Summers and you kind of wake up in a strange dream here. But all you really have to do is come talk to Pooh's master over here, and you'll still be able to do the teleport or the meditation sequence even if you're just Ness. So I'm actually saving there for a death warp setup.
It's really awkward hearing that like echo on all the sound effects.
Yeah, that's how you know you're in Delam. Nice extra cursor menus there. So I'm picking up the life noodles just for safety, but the brain food lunch for money. There is a purpose for that.
This is pretty much not ever supposed to go here until way later than after you get Pooh.
Yeah, we will not have Delam as a teleport location though, and there are photos here, so we'll have to get back here out of bounds. You only get the teleport location if you come through the way the game was planning on you to do it. So this section doesn't seem like anything could possibly go wrong in a speedrun setting. All you have to do is make sure you don't press the B button. I don't know who could possibly have problems with that, but I think I've had 3 cases where, and all of a sudden, there you go, there's Pooh.
We have become Pooh.
Prince Poop.
Oh, see, that shouldn't be funny, but there's just like an immature streak.
Yeah,
Cannot be
I'm like,
unseen anymore.
Oh,
it's getting late. We're allowed to laugh at that. It's fine.
yeah.
It may be too late for him, but it's not too late for the player name incentive. We actually have one more incentive for this marathon, and it will be cut off in about 25 minutes. It is for the player name. We don't have an official thing at Tiltify for it. Just put it in your donation comment if you want the player name to be something, whether it's Jeff is a trash can or something else.
There's several. There's a couple of listings there that you can find. You know, type in ! names. I believe
Yes.
there's also a link under the donate button. So we still got time. It's a great cause here. You know, please get in any donations you want. I know there's at least, hopefully, a couple of you Earthbound people are watching late at night.
Yeah, if you want to try to snipe the player name, or if you want to just pile on the Jeff is a trash can bandwagon, it's all good. It's going to a good cause. So this is why I set up that death warp. I've never timed it. I think it's a very minimal time save here with the time it takes to call on the phone and then to wait for the HP to tick down, but it prevents me from having to walk all the way up to the top again. And I'm pretty sure it's faster. Never like to hear a speedrunner say, I'm pretty sure. I never actually took the time to time it, but I feel like it's faster.
Also to clarify, in your donation comment, if you decide to do it, just say, put this towards the player name incentive too. That way it's just clear cut.
Yes.
And that way I know, hey, it's going to this.
Yes.
So the levels that Pooh gets here are actually random, which is fine. All my manipulation shouldn't really matter that much, but I will see some slight variance in the fights I have. And having Pooh join this early is super useful because he already comes equipped with both Teleport Alpha and Beta.
I am Poop, servant
My
of
name is
Sans.
Poop. So proud.
This cannon is weird.
So this first photo would have been here the first time, but I prefer to get it now. There's pretty uncommon spawns here on the beach, but it's nice if I have poo that I can teleport away from them if I see them. And then the second photo over here by the Toto docks, it's actually only appears after you go through the poo meditation sequence.
That guy looks like he was having fun getting suntan.
I was that is it the guy that was laying down?
Yeah.
Just not moving. He's just literally laying down. No towel, just on the sand.
Yeah, you thought he was
I was like,
potentially
there's a dead.
deceased, right?
Yeah. It's like somebody died, but he looks happy.
Well, we are here in SoCal. The sun's not
Yeah.
out, but you get plenty of that. Also, I completely messed that up. I'm sorry.
Fuzzy pickles.
I can
Fuzzy
confirm
pickles.
that chat is doing fuzzy pickles as well. Thank you.
Nice.
It's a Twitch emote, I believe.
T-Tours? Is that it?
Oh, there's that one. There's like something future. It's like a guy with like, you know, futuristic glasses doing this. I forgot the emote name. There we go.
A Future Man, yeah.
Future Man, yeah. Future Man's in chat.
Oh no. It started.
Fuzzy pickles.
Like how Pooh looks all serious there, and Nessa just like, eh.
He never smiles.
So
It's part of his training.
I'm actually going back here to get a photo in Winters. This is a slight divergence from the record route. In the record route, I had to do a total of 4 cliff skips with 3 skip sandwiches, and I just didn't feel like it was marathon safe. And this really isn't that much longer. I'd say it takes less than a minute extra here. And since I did actually need to use 2 sandwiches on the final winter skip, it would have been quite a time loss if that had happened.
They really should put a caution sign on that staircase. Kids
I
keep
know.
dying on it.
The 90s were weird, man.
So I actually, I still have a skip sandwich that I picked up just for safety. In the scheme of things, it's not a good idea to buy skip sandwiches just to try to move faster because it takes more time to buy them. But if you already have one in your inventory and you're going to have to drop it anyway, you might as well try to get a little extra speed out of it.
I'll never get tired of that shop meme. It's so good.
Fantastic. Buy something, will ya?
Just a reminder for our viewers that any donations that you make, you will automatically be entered into different drawings. For instance, we have 2 different game keys, for one for Just Shapes and Beats, and the other one for Double Cross. Those are with a minimum donation total of $5. It's all cumulative, if I understand correctly. We also have 2 signed video game copies, one of Puyo Puyo Tetris for $10, and another one of Destiny 2, also with $10 or more donated.
So you saw me walk in and then back out of Brick Road here. I'm trying to trick the game there to make it think that I went through Brick Road normally, so all the spawns go away at that point. And they're actually scripted spawns, so even later on when I turn spawns off, they're still going to be there, so I'll always have to do that.
I love Brick Road, by the way, just as a side note, because it's this giant, like, it's this very subtle joke. It's a parody of just really basic, bare-bones RPG dungeon designs.
Yeah, very much so.
It's something you kind of catch once you play, like, a lot of RPGs. So it's just, there's just something, like, really clever to it.
Yeah, and then we do, if we stopped and talked to Brick Road there, he would tell you about how he likes making his dungeons. And we will, even in photo percent, we'll still see him again down the line.
Man, this photographer is really obsessive.
Yeah, he makes his way around all over the place.
And the way that you really kind of see how this all works out, like, the way you kind of track at the end of the run, like, have you gotten all your photos, is you see them all in the credits, and that's kind of your reward for really exploring in this game.
Yeah, if they give you a little slideshow photo album thing, it's great. Oh, I just realized because I did that death warp in Winters, or sorry, in Threed, I actually had only $1 left there. So it wouldn't have been the end of the world, I just would have had to go to the ATM, but I haven't actually had that in a run. So whenever you die in this game, it reduces your money in half. So I'm actually going to be watching the NPC in the store here. This section isn't manipulated, but it's a little bit complicated, but it's telling me if the manip that I'm getting from this death file is what I want to be seeing for the rest of the run. So I want him to move down up. Alright, very nice. I wasn't worried about that at all until I did one final practice run at home before I came here, and I was having all kinds of trouble. It's one of those things where it's about the timing right when you die on the stairs. So if you're off by like a couple pixels, it can be a problem and you don't even realize that it's happening.
You guys are always at the ready there. So photogenic. Nice job.
I missed one already.
I know,
I'm
we like
ashamed.
missed the
Oh,
We've,
then-
we've
then-
each missed at least one.
Yes.
I've missed at least 2.
That's why
and
there's-
I'm the runner.
That's why there's 3 of us. It's not for commentary or anything. It's just to make sure there's at least one person saying fuzzy pickles.
Okay, I take that back. Shaming all of you.
Aw. Don't shame us, Bash. You were only here for one of them, dude.
Shame on myself. Also, if you want to hear,
Fuzzy pickles.
we're only $52 away from 26,400. Can we inch ever so closer to 27?
Let's do it, guys.
Every
Let's
little
do
bit
it.
counts, guys. Let's do it.
Got about an hour 20-ish left in the run. Still plenty of time.
I'm just sitting here, waiting to talk, waiting to pass on the good messages for the good cause. It's all going to direct relief. It's for a great cause.
So we took advantage of the fact that he gives you a full heal there, and he's right next to a photo that we need to get anyway. And then we're going to go ahead and go fight Boogie Tent right now. Boogie Tent is one event in this game that'll turn spawns on if you've turned them off in another way, because that's a glitch that we're going to use quite a bit later on. So I want to take care of this now before I turn spawns off. Gonna
Also-
move down, left. Okay.
I was incorrect. We were only $42 away.
Hey,
It's late.
It's
It's like the next day.
So I'm gonna need a little bit of quiet here for another one of my classic audio cues here. All right, thankfully, I know the backup for this, even though this wasn't what I was expecting. Got him. All right, so that's a pretty scary boss if we're not manipulating that. I'm glad I went through and I tried to get as many backups for that as possible, because diagonal lines are not usually a great idea in manipulation, and of course I route out a big long diagonal line, and it's very precise where you open the map. And I actually ran into another glitch that I'd never seen before. If I open the map too late, one of Boogie Tent's eyes disappears, and then it sort of freezes you for almost a minute after the fight. At first I thought it was a soft lock, and I was terrified that that would happen here, but it's still nice not to have the minute time loss as well. So now we're finally getting a few levels here. We're feeling slightly more comfortable and being able to take on some enemies. And again, I'm going to explain it a bit more when I get there, but when you do the game so out of order, you can take advantage of some mechanics and turn the spawns off. So I'm actually going to have no random encounters from this point on for almost the entire run. Now there's still plenty of fights that we have to do that are required for certain photos or just for beating the game in general. But yeah, it's very nice. It makes things a lot more marathon safe, I feel like.
getting some Castlevania vibes with all the stuff you're getting out of like trash cans and places you probably shouldn't be looking for food.
So yeah, Ness was down to $0 there, so I had to go ahead and sell that brain food lunch I picked up earlier. So the reason that we're able to turn spawns off here is I'm going to be going to... We're actually going to have a little bit of Paula inception going on here. We're going to see two Paulas at the same time because we've never rescued Paula the proper way. But normally when you come there, you meet Paula for the first time. She gives you the Franklin badge. And then when you walk outside, there's a fight waiting for you there. Now, when you go out to that scripted fight, they wanted to make sure that no random spawns got in the way of that fight happening, like a crow swooping in to kill you. So they went ahead and turned spawns off, but they also didn't think that you would have all 4 characters at this point where you're only supposed to have Ness, and that you would have teleport. So if I just teleport away from that fight, the spawns will stay off until I do something that turns them back on. And the Franklin badge is required because we do need to fight Carpainter for 2 of the photos, I believe. We pretty much need to rescue Paula what they consider the proper way for a couple of the photos.
But then which one's the real Paula?
To me, I like the glitched run, so the Paula that's in my party right now, she's the real one to me.
Here you see our good old pal Pokey. We're just gonna ignore him.
Yeah, we don't have time for that. If I walked down too far there, I would have triggered the fight and I would have had to do the whole thing again, so thankfully you don't have to worry about that. So we skipped the first case of meeting the Runaway 5, but the game doesn't check to see where they are, so right now they're both in Tucson and in Forside. But we're meeting the second of the corrupt managers in this game, and she's telling you how the Runaway 5 have run up a insurmountable debt and they'll never be able to pay it off. And then she acts like Santa Claus and says, ho 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 ho. And that's sort of to make you think, okay, there's something of great value that we need to bring back here to rescue the Runaway 5, and we do have to do that for photo percent for one of the photos. It's a little bit complicated why certain things are needed, but trust me, they're all needed for various photos in this game. And I had to talk to her right now because we have to go do the whole entire mole cave right now. And you need to talk to her first for that mole cave to open up.
Got time for a donation?
Sure.
We have $5 from Tiny Tim 78.
Hey, Ty.
Hey all, I've really loved the marathon. Thank you all very much for all of your efforts. Cheers again and good luck on the EarthBound run, Classic James.
Thank you very much. I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like I'm past a lot of the stuff I was most worried about. So, the problem with EarthBound is since you're taking so many random elements out by doing RNG manipulation, it seems like it should be a breeze, but it's very, very unforgiving. I mean, in any of my manipulated sections, if I press any wrong button, I immediately have to start the whole thing over. And because I'm so underleveled, in most cases, if I drop the manip, I'm gonna have to try it again.
It's kind of the nice thing about having that second file to constantly go back to. It's like, if you make a mistake, you at least have that to kind of just do a do-over real quick.
We have $10 from ShiaFit28. You're doing great, James. Put this towards naming the player Sari Nessie.
Okay.
Does that have to do with a certain MS Paint thing?
I believe
Beast?
so, yes. Good old MS Paint beast. So all we had to do was stay in that shack there for this entire gold mine to be dug. The man works fast. So Paula comes with a teddy bear, but it's not going to be of any use to us unless we move it. Because we skipped the whole normal rescue of Paula, the game's sort of in a glitch state there. And all a teddy bear does is it absorbs 75% of physical attacks here. So it's pretty useful. We're still pretty underleveled for these first couple moles here. So I'm hoping if I get high rolls here that a freeze alpha and a freeze beta will be enough to kill him. A double freeze beta will always kill him no matter what, even if they're their absolute lowest rolls. 277 should be enough here. It just saves us that animation from the rockin', which takes a while. Now, if the mole decides to ignore that 75% and then also goes for the 1 in 4 chance that he wants to hit Paula, 48 HP is not going to be enough there to get through that fight. So this is the only real random part left as far as I'm not attempting to manipulate it. I'm just hoping it goes well, but I do have a couple life noodles if it goes poorly, and there's also a secret herb, which is a 75% chance of a heal that's within this mole cave.
Also, I'm not doing my job here, but for those of you looking to donate and are not sure how to get to the donation page, you can go to calithon.com, calithon.com, and then there's no official link for the last incentive left. Just put in your donation comment. Put this towards naming the player. This. Got about 8 minutes or 7 minutes left. So if you want to snipe, Jeff is a trash can.
I'm trying to think here. We might be able to stretch it out a little bit more.
Uh-oh.
And unlike glitchless, you only do it once in this category, correct?
Yes. So I think we can cut it off at 105. Just give you guys an extra 5 minutes there.
All right.
Heard the man, 12 minutes.
I just absent-mindedly picked up that bottle rocket, so I'm going to try to use that to my advantage. And for the final mole, I'll see if Jeff can one-shot it with a bottle rocket.
Come on, Jeff. Do one thing right in your life.
So we still have that teddy bear. Thankfully, he survived the one hit from the mole. So I think we'll see what Paula gets for HP here, but I think she's getting pretty close to a safe range with this level up she'll get here. I'm also going to pick up the coin of defense here. It sells for about $1,000, and it enables me to get an extra multi-bottle rocket for marathon purposes. So I'm never going to turn that down. And the way the bottle rockets work for Jeff is he has regular bottle rockets, big bottle rockets, and multi-bottle rockets. Big bottle rockets are the equivalent of 5 regular bottle rockets, and then multi-bottle rockets are the equivalent of 20 regular bottle rockets. And they're based on Jeff's speed versus the enemy's speed. So if he's going against a very fast enemy at this point, it's not going to do him much good. But at the same time, if he's going against a slower enemy, it can do a lot of damage, and it's very quick. So I'm actually going to move that over to him right now. And down the line, we'll be using some multi-bottle rockets for the bigger bosses. Not as much as we do in glitchless. We really kind of abuse those a lot in the glitchless run. So the way the exit mice work in this game is they bring you back to the last place that you entered a cave. But we're going to actually be able to see a kind of interesting mechanic of that, because when we're going out of bounds and we're not entering a cave from a proper entrance, we're still able to... sorry, I thought he hit Paula for some reason.
Teddy bear, no!
But Teddy bear fought valiantly here. But if we go into a cave without going in the main entrance, we'll still be able to use the exit mouse, but it'll bring us back to the last cave that we entered the proper way. So there's actually kind of cool ways that I utilize that in this route. And it's another thing that's exclusive to this category.
Can we get a SoCal cool in chat for our teddy bear? I fought brilliantly.
He did his job well, and now Paula has plenty of HP that I'm not too worried here.
Yeah, Paula's notoriously, I believe the term people use for RPGs is squishy. It's to say she has very little health and very little defense. In fact, kind of everyone in the party in this game is not very sturdy, other than maybe Ness. Or Sans in this case.
I just said that, and I got the solidify there, so she actually didn't have enough HP to get through. It's not the end of the world. I have that life noodle, so I'm going to use it now. It's just funny, of course. I jinx myself when I say that. The solidify text is a little bit of extra. If I had mashed slightly better there, I would have been okay. But we got the chance that he hits Paula, which is a 1 in 4, and then the chance that it also solidified, which is a 1 in 4.
Even in a manipulated run, you still find a way to get marathon luck.
Yeah, like I said, I could have tried to go through and manipulate all of Mole Cave, but with the moving mice and the miner and stuff at the beginning, it didn't seem worth it. But now I'm questioning my choice there. So I'm gonna see if I can one-shot him with the bottle rocket, and I'll probably regret that decision as well. But that's how we're gonna make the most of me accidentally picking it up. And also I used an extra freeze from Pooh there, so I'd like to save one here as well if possible.
There's been a lead change.
Ooh.
Trotline Beer Can donates $50. Player name, Jeff the Best, Kappa. Loving the run so far. James, take my energy.
Is the Kappa part of the name?
I asked him that. It is not.
Okay.
But that'll not stop people from using Kappa, probably.
No, see, like if you
Oh, no.
if you kept it in there, the sarcasm would work a little better
Yeah.
for us. Now, like him taking it out actively makes the name worse.
So Jeff the Best is now currently in the lead with $50 against Jeff is a trash can with $35. You got about 8 minutes left, 7 minutes left.
Yes, we'll
Until the 105 mark.
we'll cut it off at 105 just to make sure that we give people.
But we did break the $400 mark in the at 26,000. So we're inching ever so closer to 27,000. Thank you all again so much for your support.
Gets 26.5 and then 27.
Yeah,
500 to go. You can
let's
do
go for
this.
500, guys.
So we're gonna see the sunstroke mechanic here. It's almost guaranteed that at least one of these kids is gonna get sunstroke here. So I'm gonna try to do 2 desert sections in a row. So I only have to cure sunstroke once. Yeah, there it is. I'm picking up this life noodles here because normally I wouldn't pick that up, but since I had to use the one in Mole Cave, I like to have an extra one. So this is a very interesting little side quest you can do if you want. There's 2 sesame seeds in the desert. One is black, one is white. And they're long lost loves. And he just wants to tell the white sesame on the other side of the desert that he still loves her.
It's adorable and also silly. So kind of you see there, one of the things a lot of people don't initially realize about teleport is, yes, you can actually kind of manipulate where your characters are moving. So you can generate just a little bit more space.
So that was a little mistake there, no big deal. I was thinking I was going to the store, not the hotel. So here we're going to go to Scaraba and do our first big shopping section. I would say a lot of people would probably agree with me that speedrun this game, that the shopping mechanics in this game are pretty rough. You can't stack anything. The menu lags the more items are in your inventory. And
Never knew that.
there's quite a few things that you need to buy to get through certain runs. So we try to save a little bit of menu lag by, like for Paula and Jeff, which require, filtering through other inventories first, either Ness or Pooh. We try to do those shopping sequences first, and then do Ness and Pooh last. So I'm going to be picking up a whole bunch of super bombs and then a few big bottle rockets for Jeff, and this should carry us through until the couple bosses that I need multi-bottle rockets for later. Don't want to sell the life noodles by accident because it's here in my inventory, confusing me. So yeah, I just have to sit here and do all this shopping. So if there's any donations, this would be a good time. Super bombs don't have a chance to miss. They're very useful in this game. It's just a particular damage range that they can do, and they also do splash damage as well. But there are some enemies that are able to use super bombs on you, and that's never fun. And also, if you're fighting an enemy that can confuse you, if you chuck a super bomb at your own party, it's likely to take out 2 or 3 people.
Uh-oh. Jeff is a trash can is now back in the lead.
Ooh,
Anonymous donates $24. Put this towards Jeff as a trash can.
I wonder which of the 20 Earthbound speedrunners that might be. The 20 that I could think of. There's plenty more out there that I'm pretty sure also could have put that.
So just for the updated standings, we have Jeff as a trash can in the lead with $59. Jeff the Best in second place with $50. Moggs in third with $12.50. And Sari Nessie in fourth and last place with $10. You still have a little bit of time left. We are getting a little bit closer. We got about 3 minutes left, guys. So if you're looking to snipe that first place for the player name incentive, do it ASAP. You can go to Calithon.com or type in !donate if you're in Twitch chat.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit bad about cutting it off at a specific time, but I just wanted to make sure we didn't forget and give people a chance to know when it's going to get cut off. The Crystal Charm here gives Jeff 15 speed. Technically, since I'm manipulating, I could try to do it without it, but it just makes the higher boss fights just a lot easier with that extra speed for his bottle rockets. Yeah, we're going to cut it off at 1:05, so almost there.
Got 2 minutes
Do it
left.
ASAP, guys. Just less than 2 minutes left. Will it be a trash can?
Or the
Will it
best.
yeah.
Or will it be something else?
Or will it be something else? You have 24 characters, guys. 24. That's a lot for older RPG.
Really is.
Yeah, and it's very important in the final fight, actually. Sorry, I had a little... It's when I don't have my splits in front of me, I have a bit of a hard time sometimes remembering where I'm supposed to teleport to next. Okay, so thankfully only one kid got Sunstroke there. That's very lucky in the scheme of things. I've had all 4 get it within like 30 seconds before. So we're going through this whole Apple Kid sequence here. You might be wondering why the heck we need to do this when... Oh, what's going on?
All right, real quick. We have a minute left, guys. $100 from Anonymous. Player name, Jeff the Best.
Oh my
Jeff the Best is now in the lead with $150 versus $59 for Jeff is a trash can.
Wow.
And another $10 from Trotlight Beer Can for Jeff the Best. So now it's at $160 for Jeff the Best. Thank you all so much for your support.
Yes, thank you guys very much.
It's 102 to snipe. Get on it. You got 30 seconds.
We also broke the, we're also halfway from 2,600 to 2,700, guys, so thank you so much.
Good at.
So this whole section is all, it's like minutes of
15 seconds. Sorry. I'll shut up.
No, let's let the suspense play out here. I got plenty of time to yap about this pencil eraser later.
And I'm cutting it off.
Let's hear it.
Or do you want to wait until you're ready? Would you rather have a little more suspense or...
You can tell me now. I do feel, to be fair, we shouldn't take any more at this point.
Yeah. The winner is Jeff the Best at $160. Thank you guys so much for your support.
Thank you very much,
Jeff,
guys.
Jeff is a trash can, came in second place with $59. So Jeff the Best, it's every word is capitalized.
Every word counts.
JTB, yeah.
Is there an exclamation or anything?
No.
Okay. It'll still be a couple minutes before I do that. But like I said, I just wanted to make sure we cut it off at a certain time. So what I did there is I'm walking up and loading the iron pencil statue into the memory. You don't actually have to go up there and check it, and then that triggers this phone call from Apple Kid here. And the entire reason we have to do all this stuff, it's minutes of time, is just for one photo in Peaceful Rest Valley.
Well, it's almost uncanny. We're kind of bookending this marathon because the runner of the first run of the marathon was JTB. So JTB, Jeff the Best.
Nice. And I gotta say, if hard pressed, I think I'm more on Team Jeff than Team Not Jeff. So I'm happy with that.
It's all good. It's for a great cause. And again, just because that is sort of the last incentive does not mean that your donations are any less meaningful, and doesn't mean that you aren't still eligible to win some of those prizes. So.
Yes. For some of the bigger prizes, we have a Disney Park bundle and tickets. The tickets are, from what Jeff and 3D had mentioned earlier, are eligible for I think it's any Disney park that's not Tokyo. And then there's a couple other goodies that are included with that. That's with if you've donated a total of $100 or more. We also have a Nintendo Switch Smash bundle, which comes with 2 GameCube controllers as well as the game and a Switch. That's with a minimum total of $75 donated cumulatively, across any donations you have. We also have a PS4 Spider-Man bundle for $40 or more. and a Hori Pro arcade fight stick for any of you fighting game community people. That's with a minimum donation total of $30 or more.
Just because you're getting it in at the very end does not
So
mean
you can
that
be
you're
in the
any
running for
less
those,
eligible.
yes. And it goes towards direct relief. Great cause, great people.
So this next boss is pretty darn scary if something goes wrong. So I'm looking for the exit mouse movement here to tell me that I'm on the right track.
Never get tired of that sideways walking.
Yeah, it's based on the direction you save on the phone. Okay, this is right. So I just realized something though. Paula still has a bread roll in her inventory. That's not a problem. I just need to make sure I remember that it's there. Because it means I need to do one more cursor movement on her and one less cursor movement on Jeff. That's how we combat inventory problems in this.
So I'm kind of curious. What did lead you to decide you wanted to speedrun EarthBound for among the games that you played?
I loved it as a kid. It was one of my favorite, if not my favorite, games growing up, and I, had seen a lot of platforming speedruns before, but I hadn't seen much about RPG speedruns. And then one day, I just happened to kind of search for EarthBound speedrun, and I saw Andy Perfect's run, and I was like, wow, this is so different than what I would have thought. It's awesome. And then when I found out there was a photo percent category, that really sparked my interest, and it's actually the first run I ever did. Most people would start with like glitchless or maybe boogie percent, which is a short race category. That's about the first quarter of a glitchless run. But for me, I wanted to start with this photo percent, and I've had a lot of fun ever since.
Yeah, I know you did quite extensive routing work on this run a couple of different times.
Yep, I mean, when it started out, it wasn't all that much shorter than glitchless, and there's just so many options, though, if you really want to take the time. And I find the routing to be the most fun part for photo percent. There's so many options for how you can accomplish the goals you need to accomplish. So that fight went perfectly well, and we're past the scary part. And the exit mouse thing I was talking about before is going to come in handy here. We're going to save a lot of walking back through some of the caves because we came to this Stonehenge base out of bounds, so it's not going to take us to the front of Stonehenge. And it's also a case where exit mouse is required, because if we were to try to walk out of Stonehenge, not only would it take forever, but there'd be a racer statue blocking us there, and there'd be no way out. And since spawns turn off, even if we hadn't turned spawns off, spawns turn off after you beat Starman Deluxe, so there'd be no way out of here without an exit mouse. So you can either talk to Andonuts or AppleKid here. Andonuts is less text, though. And that allows us to use that exit mouse, and it pops us back out here, the last cave we were at, so saves us some walking.
And if I'm correct, that's not actually any form of, that's not technically a glitch, right?
It just requires a glitch to be able to be done. So yeah, it's just the game wouldn't think that you'd be able to reach these caves without going in the entrance. And what's silly is, you can get photos while you're out of bounds, but this particular photo, it's not just like we could skip past that pencil and come get it. You actually have to erase the pencil for it to appear. So it's one of the more laborious photos to get, just one, that and Mole Cave. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the Shyness book here. That's the whole reason we have to fight Starman. It's not for any other reason. It's because you need to pick up this Shyness book to get the photo in Tenda Village. Man, I felt a lot of lag there. I was almost worried for a second I somehow turned spawns back on, but I think we just had a whole bunch of NPCs right in my way. A funny thing is, if you come here and you get the Shyness book before you get the map, the lady at the front desk will stop talking about the map and only talk about the Shyness book. Now, it's not 100% required to get the map, but it makes the run a lot easier and shorter with it, so it's important to not forget that. Also, I've been trying to do teleport alpha wherever possible. It just goes in a straight line, but it saves about 3 to 5 seconds over a teleport beta, so anytime you can do a teleport alpha over a beta, it's preferred. It also takes less psychic points.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much does the fewer psychic points you're using, how much does that really affect the run?
It actually factors in quite a bit. Like, most of these are pretty easy teleport alphas, but I'd have to change the order I do things if not, I think, because Pooh does get pretty short on psychic points at certain points. So we're getting pretty close to entering that Jeff is best name here. So that Hawkeye we picked up earlier, again, Deep Darkness we can get to without the Hawkeye, but the photo is only going to be there if we use the Hawkeye. And I'm going to use another little nifty audio cue here to try to get as close to the photo as possible.
That's totally how escalators work.
You walk
That
right
was
through.
in the back of my mind.
Now we turn. I kind of sing a little song in my head there. The whole reason I'm trying to
That's
get
what I do all the time.
the whole reason I'm trying to get close to this photo is so I walk through less of the swamp. But if you get too close to the photo and load the area, it's actually won't be there. You need to kind of scroll it off screen and then come back. You're going to see that on one photo down the line. It's a little bit strange how that works. Sorry, I was reacting to something in the background.
Shout outs to the tech crew.
Yes.
It's definitely getting up there. Like, huge shout outs to the night crew. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys are killing it.
I mean, you guys are too.
All right, here we go. So Jeff is best, all capitals, no exclamation, right? Okay, I think I hyped that up a little bit too early there.
Just getting a bit of confirmation here.
A couple other donation prizes we have here. With a minimum of $10, you'll be in the running for 3 different things. One is a signed copy of Puyo Puyo Tetris. One is a signed copy of Destiny 2, Fuzzy Pickles. That's not a DLC or anything. It's just Fuzzy Pickles after
Can we
the
make
Destiny
that
2.
a prize? Just like a jar of
God.
Fuzzy Pickles?
All right, here we go. Jeff is best.
Haven't been seeing that many Fuzzy Pickles. I mean, besides the chat, of course, and you guys are doing awesome.
Just let us know if this is correct.
We also have autographed Rumbo posters and double crosspins, and that's if you donate a total of
So this is
$10
correct,
or
right?
more.
Jeff is best, all caps, no exclamation, right?
Jeff, it's not all caps
Oh, not all caps.
and no spaces.
He told you that just to make you type it again.
I is capital. Oh, sorry, Jeff the best.
Jeff the best.
We're gonna get there.
Jeff the best. All
T's capitalized.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's I
words are
apologize. I think I
capitalized.
said all caps on accident.
I-
That's entirely on me.
I think I can hear Daniel RGT screaming at his monitor for me.
Hey, at least we got it right here.
Yes,
So
that's good. That's
all right,
good.
sweet.
I apologize.
No problem.
I meant to say like camel case or whatever it is with the first letter. Enough for me. Send me stuff so I can read it.
So we picked up that Dragonite there. It's a little bit of a safety if I drop Manip somewhere, but I will be hopefully using it on the very last fight, which strangely enough is after the final boss. How many games do you fights after the final boss?
You know, if I have to say, of all the things in this game that have aged the poorest, it's the fact that you call your dad using a rotary phone.
I know.
I
right?
swear, I know people who have never seen a rotary phone nowadays.
Just letting all our viewers know, we're less than $500 away from 27,000. Can we reach that in the next hour and 15 minutes? I know we can. It's more of a rhetorical question.
We kid. It's a matter of will.
If you're looking to
It's up to
support
you guys.
to a great cause, Direct Relief, again, thanks, shout outs to them. We are streaming from within their headquarters here. It's been a fantastic ride. You can go to calithon.com. CALITHON.com. Oh gosh, this music.
Good old Dungeon Man music. This is created by Brick Road. And this is the infamous Talk to Face coming up here. Who actually created this category was going through and writing down some notes for photo percent in case anyone wanted them, and he just writes Talk to Face. It's like, what else do you call that?
Very weird.
It's very blunt.
But Talk to Face is what puts this photo outside. It's what makes Dungeon Man spring to life and follow us outside.
I always wonder what like the voice in that sound effect is saying.
I have no idea. So we're getting that last little bit of money. We do need a show ticket down the line, but other than that, we just need to buy as many multi-bottle rockets as we can afford here.
It's music.
So
jam.
yeah, interesting fact about that is it's actually a straight up sample from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. The drum beat, they just full on took the recording of it. I've heard lots of stories about why it took so long to get a virtual console release for EarthBound, and I think rights to some of these songs were a big part of it.
Yeah, I remember the New Age Retro Hippie theme. A lot of people said it sounded a lot like Johnny Be Good.
Yeah, that one's not a full-on sample, but it's definitely heavily... It's pretty
similar.
much the same song.
It's kind of rockabilly reference in general, I think.
We have $50 from Sale Naha. Thank you so much for your donation. No comment provided, but thank you so much. We are less than $400 away from 27,000. So once again, guys, thank you so much for your support. We're getting there. Let's keep going.
So I just remembered this bread roll is still in my inventory. I want to get rid of that.
I'd completely forgotten. I'm sorry if you would have asked me to remind you. I probably would have forgotten.
It's all good. I got plenty of time to get rid of it, but I might as well do it now. And when you do that, you want to combine it with another menu, so I did it with that teleport there.
That must be the most terrified taxi driver in the world. It's like just cruising along, doing his job, and all of a sudden 4 kids come in at 100 miles an hour.
The cars in this game are very respectable of you, though. They'll stop right in front of your
Respectable-like.
face.
They abide by, very respectful of people who don't abide by traffic laws.
Ness is really having a hard time with these stairs here.
Just put up a
Me every
caution
day.
sign. Put off like the police tape or something. Jeez. Like, we're trying to set world records in the speed run for the time, not for how many times some kid found himself dead on a staircase.
Oh, we actually got Sunstroke here. I'll go ahead and get rid of that.
So what all is the issue with Sunstroke again?
The only thing is that if it pops up with a notification during any fight, it wastes a little time, but it also would throw off my manipulation. It's not guaranteed that it would happen depending on the turn order, but I just don't want to risk it.
So we kind of get this boss here with really no context. He's sort of the one in charge of this sort of like cult
Yeah.
of very happy and blue people.
Yeah, and that's another bit of censoring they did for the North American version. They have HH stamped on their forehead, and then in the Japanese version, and then also in the North American version, they put like a little ball at the end of their cap, so they supposedly look a little less scary, but I don't know. They're still pretty scared of me. So our good buddy Pokey came back to tell us he's realized the error of his ways, but that lasts about 5 seconds.
He walks away very slowly.
Psych.
If I were to teleport into him and try to talk to him, it actually crashes the game. Pokey's just good for all kinds of problems. So, interestingly enough, I don't know why when I first routed this game, I either assumed that fighting Carpainter would turn spawns back on, or someone told me that, but all this time I thought that fighting Carpainter turned spawns back on, but I just happened to, when routing this out, figure out that it doesn't. So here we're rescuing Paula. We finally get the real Paula, or the decoy Paula, depending on how you're viewing it. Although that teddy bear is not there. I already got rid of that a long time ago.
So wait, did Paula just merge with the other one, or did she just merge into poo? I don't get it.
It looks like both things are kind of going on there.
Start a donation, but I don't know. It's late. We're trying what we can. All right, I got a donation bid war idea. One sec. Donate in the comments with your favorite place to take pictures of. I want to hear some stories.
I'm down for that. We got a donation, though.
Heck yeah.
$25 from Arrow saying, thanks to all the staff and the runners for this event. Good luck on the EarthBound run.
Thank you. So here I'm picking up another exit mouse. It's another required exit mouse because this much later on I'm going to need this to get out of an area that has no other exit other than an exit mouse. Unfortunately, the one problem with the Onet barricade skip is that it's a much longer walk to get an exit mouse now.
Also, looking at the text here, I think I've been incorrect on my information. It looks like they are single donations for these incentives, and I apologize.
The prices, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's cool.
A single donation for places to take pictures of. Bid war by Ghost Kumo.
Maybe just a bid war, just like I don't know. I like hearing stories in people's donation comments.
They are the best. We are actually inching a little closer to 700 here. So thanks again, guys.
Had a lot of trouble with that phone there.
I mean, you're on the right of the partition. How can you break the phone? It's another thing people haven't seen these days. Payphones. Where did all those go anyway?
A very different time we live in now. It's no longer 1990X anymore.
Yeah.
So I really specifically did my routing in a certain way so that Ness's inventory is going to be full at this point. It's kind of silly, but it saves me from having to move the C pendant over to Paula later. So I mentioned earlier that we have to drop down into Lost Underworld. It's such a weird flag, but again, like I said, you can go straight to Gygus. You can use debug menu and stuff and go straight to Gygus. But once you get to the prayer section, no one will show up in Saturn Valley and the run will just end. And that's the whole reason we have to do this right now. But it also gives us the benefit of being able to go pick up the C pendant, which is very much required if you're not manipulating Gygus. And I've interestingly found out that Phase 3 might be close to non-manipulable for photo percent, and I'll explain that down the line. Oh, almost got it. So that's my first failed swag port there, but I'll take it. It actually saves the most time in Lost Underworld because of these weird little sprites and the way the lag kind of works there. It saves the most time if you can pull it off in Underworld. And there's a weird Lost Underworld hard lock that thankfully we don't have to worry about. I've heard it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 in 1,000 chance, but there's been multiple EarthBound runners that have had it happen multiple times in runs. And it happens when you teleport into Lost Underworld with spawns there. So I'm going to ask Classic Tiff back there, am I ready to go?
You're all good. Did you get your exit mouse?
Yep, I got everything.
You're all set.
Sweet. Just making sure that I have the photos I want to have at this point because there's no turning back.
Should be at 22 right now.
So right now I'm going to fight Master Belch.
Master Belch.
Now, interestingly enough, you are able to beat him without a jar of fly honey if you use Ness's flash beta attack, but it's a very low chance of that happening without manipulation. And you only get flash beta after you go through Magicant.
So I'm kind of curious actually about one thing. I've noticed that you have 3 files and your third one is empty, and you actually started this with like all of your save files gone. Is there a particular reason for that?
I could have had something in the third file slot. I don't get sentimental like some people do, though, and hang on to save files for a long time. I just wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally open it up or something.
Gotcha.
So yeah, if you're playing this the first time and you don't realize that you need to use the fly honey here, you're going to be like, God, this guy has 10,000 HP, because every turn he restores his HP if you don't use the life noodles here. Or sorry, the fly honey. And I told myself life noodles, and then I used the life noodles.
I swear I used to watch BGG's stream of this game, and this burst was the sub notification, so anytime he was on this fight, I was really confused. I have a lot of good experiences with EarthBound runners. Like, I don't run the game myself, but I've always loved watching this run.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And the community's been really, really generous and nice to talk to. A lot of really cool people.
This guy. Classy.
Very, very classy game. We're at a Calithon after dark.
So they have this little hot springs area that you're supposed to jump in to wash off the puke from Master Belch, but we can just go ahead and use that healing beta to take care of that. Again, another status ailment that could potentially throw off my fights. We grab this photo here, and then we're gonna actually already head over to Magic Ant.
That Mr. Saturn is looking at you mischievously.
He's just enjoying life in that hot springs.
Here we go. Oh, the one that's just creepily peeking out. Just his eyes.
I looked at the screen instead of the camera. Whoops.
No problem.
I think I just realized I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
Same,
It's all right.
actually. Same, actually. I better fix that.
Okay, so with spawns being off, it's not super scary, this one, but I do still want to land on the manip, so I don't have to worry about freestyling it.
Those dang stairs.
So the nice thing about all this manipulation I'm doing is I always have indications of if I'm on the right track based on things that are moving around, so it's not just a guessing game. I'm gonna watch this fish man here. He's gonna go right up, so we are on the right RNG.
Also, Ness is back in his pajamas and has people in his mind that shouldn't be.
Yeah, another moment where in Mother 2, the Japanese version, Ness is actually naked, so it makes these glitched runs very, very awkward when he has people with him. Because he's supposed to be here by himself. This is Ness's kind of dream world here.
And a
I
pretty
like
cool
his
stage in
messed up
Smash.
hair.
Yeah. It's also
Rolled
pretty,
out of bed.
it's also a pretty cool stage in Smash.
Absolutely. So the Krakens here are scripted. They're going to be there no matter what, so as long as my manipulation goes well, I shouldn't have to deal with them. They're pretty scary enemies too, but the whole reason I bought that extra multi-bottle rocket is so if something went wrong, I could potentially fight one of these guys. Yeah, that's the one I was most worried about. That's very tight movement there.
Yeah, you kind of move pretty slow in this game, and enemies tend to move a lot faster, so...
That's planned there. It looks scary, but it's planned.
So this is sort of the way I've seen this particular fight, and it's a very lucky bottle rocket there.
Yeah, that's why we rely on that manipulation there. Yeah, it's very, very different in a glitched category to fight him than in a glitchless category because he has a psychic shield, so you can't do psychic attacks to him unless he puts up a physical shield. So when you're fighting him in a glitchless run, you rely on Dragonites, which do physical damage to him. And there's all kinds of bad sequence of events that can happen on that fight. Even the most experienced runners, if they just briefly are not reacting right, you can totally die to that fight.
So that fight's not... The whole Magicant scenario is really not supposed to initiate until you've gone out and you've collected all 8 of the melodies, which we really haven't done hardly any of that.
Yeah, we've actually, at this point, we've collected 0 melodies. We are going to collect 1 because it triggers one of the photos.
Also, I like how Pooh is just a head there.
Yeah, that'll happen when
This little
you have such a big party.
hair on top there.
So your characters are losing health?
It's just a whole scrolls down and up. It's only supposed to be Ness here, and what's funny is he's so you get an initial amount of experience from him that'll go to everybody, but then all this special stuff will only go to Ness. It's weird.
So this is really kind of, I feel like, meant to close off most of the rest of the game and really push it towards that final act.
Yes.
So there will be still more after the final boss for this route. The current reroute actually has a few photos that you get after the Gygus fight, and they kind of turn into a little bit of just an encore.
Yeah, and I really like that actually because it allows so many more possibilities. Like, we could have just ended this run on the final prayer like every other category, but since you're able to get so many photos post-Gygus, it just opens up a lot of routing possibilities, and I know Aurelius really wanted that to be the case when he first put this category on the leaderboards. And it's also what triggers that photo slideshow, so... Oh, a bit of a seizure warning here. I should have mentioned that earlier. They toned this down in the Virtual Console release. Smoothed it out quite a bit.
Bit rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forewarning, the final boss will also have a couple of moments like that towards the end.
Yep.
It's kind of notorious for absolutely just destroying bitrate on people's streams. Also that, what?
Yeah, it's very weird that Jeff is just like standing on top of Ness essentially, and then the second Jeff appears.
You consume him, you shall become him.
So I'm actually going to come up here into this cave, and it's actually another way to save myself a teleport down the line and use that exit mouse mechanic again. So he talks about a pig wearing clothes there. A couple guesses who he might be referring to. As many people know, Pokey is called Porky in other in Mother 2, but they changed it to Pokey over here.
And so now we have to go back to Net, but Net's changed since we've last been there.
Yes, so when you talk to him, it triggers Darko Net like that, but I'm actually doing a couple photos first here.
I never actually knew you could manipulate a little bit on Teleport B. I knew you could with A, but not B.
Oh, like move it around?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There's some tight teleports if you're trying to not walk too far to start your teleport, so it's very helpful. What's funny is I know that Skate Man, who's one of pretty much the original godfather of the EarthBound speedrun in my book, he was doing a fun incentive a few years ago where he was looking at his old 2010 notes or something, or 2012 notes, and they used to use teleport beta to get away from enemies.
Ooh.
Which makes no sense because it just goes in a big circle, but I guess the thought was that it lasts longer.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of blew my mind because with Teleport Alpha you can be very, very precise with how you're moving around to get around enemies.
Yeah, being able to move fast while enemies are frozen. It's a really useful ability. Found a lot more in the glitchless run.
Yeah, we don't really see that here. It could have potentially happened in Summers if I had some unlucky spawns. Decided to save on the top of the phone there just for fun.
Remind me to try sidewalking up an elevator.
Yeah. I like their faces while they're sidestepping.
They're very serious.
Like they're looking at the camera and they're like,
America's best dance crew right there. So the reason Threed is happy now is because I fought Master Belch. You don't actually have to do anything with the zombie paper or any of that stuff. You just have to fight Belch, and to do that, we end up needing to fight Boogie 10.
Fuzzy Pickles.
Oh, I missed another Fuzzy Pickles. I'm the worst.
This run
It's
is
late.
invalid now.
Dare you?
I'll get it on this one. The two photos were too close together. I'm combining two Fuzzy Pickles into one.
Paula, get out of the way. We're trying to take a picture with the nice man.
The muscle man, dude. We're really early. We were very ready for that one.
So now I'm going to head over to the meteorite, and probably the biggest benefit to the town map is this right here, because after you fight Ness's Nightmare, you lose your Soundstone. So for out-of-bounds stuff, you're going to need to go somewhere where you can use the town map. And thankfully, the way to meteorite is right on the town map spectrum, so we can save ourselves the teleporting through all the scary enemies there. And one of the photos is in that house that's at the southwest part of Onett that you're supposed to pay $7,000 to buy. But we are very cheap, and we don't want to pay that, so we're just going to go ahead and sneak in there out of bounds and grab that photo and continue on to the meteorite. But I was mentioning earlier, so there's no way to open the map without the photo already being here, so I'm going to have to open up the map and then just briefly leave the screen and then come right back and the photo will be there. It's not a mistake that I'm making here.
I'm trying to jam here, and the song keeps changing. Somebody keeps messing with the station.
So what's funny is that in all my time doing glitched runs of this,
Fuzzy pickles.
I've never dealt with spawns coming out of this house here, but with the full-length names, it just puts you right on the RNG that some of those scary spawns will be waiting right outside, so that's why I had to do that A-B there. So I'm actually going to do a quick inventory check here while I equip the C pendant.
If you got any more donations, I think this would probably be the best time to read them.
We don't have any new ones at the moment, but I will read them with my sultry voice. We also have, again, prizes still going to the very end of this run and by extension the marathon. If you go to Calithon.com, it'll take you to the Tiltify page, click the donate button. We don't have any more game incentives, excuse me. It's past 2 a.m. here. I think the caffeine's starting to get away from my body. But we do have prizes. Got a signed copy of Puyo Puyo Tetris as well as Destiny 2. Got a couple of game keys for the video games Just Shapes and Beats as well as Double Cross. 2 console bundles. One's a PlayStation 4 Spider-Man bundle for if you do a single donation of $40 or more. As well as a Nintendo Switch Smash bundle. Comes with the game, Switch, 2 GameCube controllers. I believe there's like one more thing I forget. Also got a Disney Park bundle and tickets. Got a couple of goodies. The tickets are good for, I believe, all Disney parks except for Tokyo, according to Jeff in 3D. That is with a $100 donation or more.
Yeah, guys,
You'll be in the running to win those, basically.
Yeah, get those final donations in there. Let's make a push.
Let's push for 27K, guys. I will try to maintain my composure and talk still. Oh, we got one. I'll wait.
No, you can go.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, sorry.
Wasn't sure if you had an audio cue. We got $10 from Sam. I was intending on donating earlier, but fell asleep. But I'd like to let everyone know that as a real-life park ranger, the way the cops deal with the meteorite does not remotely follow protocol. And yes, our handbook has a protocol for, quote, natural disasters, in parentheses, including material fallen from space, unquote.
Nice.
Thanks, Sam.
I like how they added the of doom to this rat's name.
Yeah.
He's not creepy at all.
He's
Scary
very
enough that we
photogenic. Fuzzy Pickles.
So fighting this guy himself does not trigger a photo, but the melody outside does, and the melody will only be there if you beat him. So yeah, this is a one melody run of this run. Back in the day, we had to do Onet, but we can skip Titanic Ant now because of that nifty barricade skip.
And you have all your photos up to this point, so you're good.
Awesome. I'm glad I didn't make any big stupid mistakes yet.
You also skip a really annoying dungeon. Those sewers are not
Yeah,
fun.
they're the worst.
Really slow.
And like I mentioned before, we're using that exit mouse to get us back to Saturn Valley. And it's just another useful way to skip a teleport.
I always thought the 8 melody song was really nice. It's very simple, and I think that was the point. I know the 8 melodies in the first Mother game, because as we've mentioned Mother 2, this is actually the second game in its series.
Oops. Sorry, I need to go in here to use the exit mouse. Sorry, continue.
But yeah, so they actually made the 8 melody song something as so simple that a kid could play it with one finger on a piano. Just one of the little bits of trivia I learned on the soundtrack.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the soundtrack of this game, the guy who made this, I think it was 2 people. I know there's Hirokazu Tanaka was one of them, and he went on to work on some stuff for Smash and a few other big series as well. I know there was a lot of people who worked on EarthBound that went on to other teams, like some of the people went on to work on Pokemon, and some of them went on to work on Smash Brothers. In fact, the composer for Mother 3, the sequel to this one, is the same as Smash Brothers Brawl Onwards, I believe. So,
yeah, a very talented team that made this game. So they're making very sure that you know you're in for some dangerous stuff ahead. So they want to make sure you know this is the point of no return. And that always did kind of bum me out a little bit when I was a kid, because I would always have a save file that was in Cave of the Past, but I couldn't go back and explore anything without beating Gygus.
I love this song. It's so bad.
This is another Beatles one. This is from All You Need Is Love.
Just completely ripped like all of the Beatles' soul out of it and just
Yep.
keep the trumpets.
And then Cave of the Past is actually a Beach Boys song.
Yeah, it's Deirdre.
Yes, and it's just crazy when you hear them side by side.
Yeah, listen to the beginning of that song. It's like, whoa, what?
Yeah, because that's a pretty deep cut, even if you're a Beach Boys fan. But when you hear them side by side, you're like, wow.
It's strange. I don't really hear a lot of the.
It's slowed way down. It's like the horns at the beginning of bum ba bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
Bum, ba, bum. So if anyone has problem with drills here, close your ears.
Yeah, so essentially we're putting the kid's conscience into these robots so that they can go back in time to defeat Gygus. Because although Gygus is taking over the world in the future, you have to go back to the past to defeat him in his most primal form, because that's how EarthBound works.
Little did they know we could just...
I'm going to put a drill to my brain and nobody's going to stop me.
So I will say that out of all the manipulated stuff, it's all gone fantastic, but this is the one I'm most worried about. As many times when you're routing RNG manipulation in EarthBound, you'll run into something that you didn't even realize was a problem. And that was happening a bit in the practice room. But thankfully, this fight is probably the best if I do drop it, as far as still being able to get through. I'm pretty well equipped here. Paul has the C pendant and the Franklin badge, but we would like to save that extra time if possible.
I guess get your blessed RNGs and chat ready, because there's going to be a lot of praying going on soon. Also like that you can save on the ship.
Yeah, that's great.
Somehow you can call your dad in the future.
And also you can out of bounds and just not have to worry about using a soundstone or anything and get through all this Cave of the Past.
Sounds amazing. This dungeon is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Get your heart out, Dr. Swellman. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
No.
These are these post 2 a.m. decisions.
Dump on Swellman all you want. I love you, Dr. Swellman. He's a good guy.
Doc's the best, man. been killing that glitchless lately.
337's coming.
Maybe we can convince him to come to photo percent afterwards. Okay, so I need to really kind of pay attention here on this walk. So there are still spawns going on. I'm trying to do straight lines wherever possible. And I'm trying to walk to the edges so I don't see the spawns as much. That didn't need to take that long, but I noticed that a problem is that if I come in here and I walked up too high before I did that turn, that it can create problems. I still don't know if I'm on track here. I won't know until the first turn of this fight.
So this is the final boss, essentially. It's going to be a fairly lengthy fight, so you
Yeah,
still
it
got
takes a
time to get
while.
your donations in.
Yes, this fight alone will take roughly 10 minutes-ish.
It's also very weird and freaky, and there's a lot of urban
A
legends
lot
about
of
this fight.
creepiness in this game.
Yeah, this is probably one of the bursts of what we call creepypasta. There's a lot of urban legends about this fight. I'm not even going to begin to describe them, so...
I do have one.
Okay.
Get ready. I've got $20 from Anonymous. Attention, all Calithon viewers. Direct Relief needs your help to provide aid in all 50 states and over 80 countries. All they need is your 16-digit credit card number, the 3 digits on the back, and your donations at calithon.com. Help them get their 27K victory royal. Shout out to VoiceOver Pete.
This song is great.
All right, 44, we got it, as long as I don't screw up here. The big thing is on the next turn, Pokey is always going to charge forward, so I want him to hit Ness so nobody dies.
Vash over here headbanging at the host desk.
It's such good music here. Alright, so we made it into phase 2. All is still good here. I'm pretty happy with this.
Very nice.
And if all goes well, phase 2 will be very, very quick here. But then phase 3 is about 7 minutes of a lot of prayers going on.
There's still time, everyone. Can we get a spirit bomb and defeat Gygus? Oh my gosh.
Gigagas.
Gigas, Gagus, they're all right.
Gigabytes.
Giga something.
All right, so we made it into phase 3 here. I'm really happy with this. So what I mentioned earlier, I was always confused about photo percent. I never really tried hard to manipulate phase 3 because since Paula has the C-Pen and then the Franklin badge, it doesn't save that much time, maybe 30 seconds max if you get all empty turns. But I was always having trouble with it. I couldn't get the same results even like going from a save state and stuff. And it turns out that in any percent, there's no random movement on this first prayer. So I'll get an empty turn here because the prayer hasn't started yet. But you'll see some Mr. Saturns here, and they don't exist in any percent. So we don't have to worry about this prayer in any percent. But when you beat Master Belch, it puts these randomly moving Mr. Saturns here. So there's 2 dialogue boxes that I have to mash through, and based on like what frame you mash the dialogue boxes, it's going to give you different RNG. So essentially you'd have to be like frame perfectly mashing this to know for sure that you were going to be on a certain manipulation. Like I can try something here, but it's very unlikely to work. So these Saturns in the middle just stand, so they're not moving the RNG at all, but the ones that you see on the edges are the ones that are affecting that RNG. But like I said, with the C-Pen and then the Franklin badge, Paula is essentially invincible in this phase 3, so I'm not worried at all here. But what we're looking for from a random perspective is we want to see as many empty turns as possible. And we'd like for everyone other than Paula to... Oh. So if that had been right, I already messed it up anyway, but that's okay.
Can't get over Pooh's name every time I see it.
I was literally just thinking that every single time I see his name, I chuckle in my head.
So yeah, if we're not manipulating this, that's actually a really good turn because this gets everybody out of the party except for Paula. So we just pray from here on out.
Got time for a donation?
Absolutely, tons of time for this section.
Cool. We have $25 from Lux Interior. Shout out to all the runners and staff. This event was awesome. Well, we're still going. We're not done yet. We're almost at the 700 mark. We are getting so close to being less than $300 away from 27K. You guys can do it. Come on. Thank you. But regardless, thank you all so much for your support.
Exactly. Any amount from the $1 to 1,000 can go a long way.
Now we have to defeat Guy Gugas.
Giga-guess.
All right. Donation bid war. How was it pronounced? Gigas or Gigas?
Oh. I'll track that right now.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything because I want donations to come in, but there's clearly one correct answer.
The correct answer is the friends we made on the way.
Exactly. So it's always fun to watch someone doing a blind playthrough of this game because it's so satisfying when they finally figure out that you need to pray to get through this final fight. Because that's essentially what the game was trying to do. They were trying to make you exhaust all your resources and just be like, I don't know what to do here, and just start praying, and then that's when things turn around for you.
The game does give you a hint. Pokey says, like, are you going to cry out for mommy? Go ahead. No one will hear you.
Yeah.
It's a little subtle hint. Back then, you know.
Little did he know.
These things were a little bit more esoteric back then.
Yeah.
Hey, 26,700.
Nice, let's go, guys. 300 more. And like I said, we got quite a bit still after the Gygas fight.
Thank you so.
And it's a lot of great moments to read donations because not a lot's going on either. So.
Well, we got $13 from Elias Thompson reaching that 700 mark. Thank you so much. I see you there. Nice. Odd numbers bug me. Let's keep going, guys. Just 300 more.
Let's do it.
We can do this, guys. Come on.
So yeah, again, what we're wanting on this, the best case scenario is an empty turn. This is the worst case scenario, as a reflected lightning right here. It's only seconds over the course of a fairly long run, but it's still, many records have been lost to phase 3 here. It's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, despite how variable this game has been, and especially in its various different categories, it is pretty darn competitive. Like, top runners of this game do care about each second that they lose to things.
Yeah.
Like, you will always have to make compromises, especially in glitchless, but yeah.
Yeah, even these categories with a lot of manipulation, like, there's still enough randomness and enough variance that, you know, you never know what can happen.
I got a great idea, incredibly great idea, from the one and only Munchkin Koopas, who just walked across the camera, wearing those amazing pink shades. He says, if you guys like anime, donate $5. Will anime win?
Shoutouts to Kiza.
What's his current banime emote or whatever?
I don't even know.
We do got some donations, though. We got $25 from Anonymous. No, nothing in the comments, but thank you so much. And we got $2 from Guy Gus. It's pronounced Guy Gus. $273, guys. We're getting there.
Ooh.
I'll go with Gigas just to be contrarian. Team Gigas, let's go.
As long as you don't say Gigas.
Oh, I've never heard that one. I speedrun East. I have heard 30 different mispronunciations of that. Like, compared to that, this is nothing.
Yeah.
There we go, full 8 melodies.
Yeah. Which is nice because normally you hear the full melodies when you go into Magic Camp, but since we glitched the game out so bad, this is our only chance to hear it. Yet I'm yapping over it. I apologize.
Puppy.
I like that the dog is able to open the door and then close it behind itself when it comes in.
I don't see any anime yet. Perhaps anime is not here to stay.
Anime should be gone. All right, rip bit rate.
Here comes the anime. I'm done.
So here's where the player name incentive comes in.
I feel good.
This is absolutely not the tone for this.
It's late. Everything I see is music. I
That's,
just sing in my head.
that's why I love you.
That just happened and I say it out loud that time.
All right, here we go. Jeff the Best. Come through for us, Jeff the Best.
The best.
Is that what I was seeing? Those like partial script letters.
It's like a furniture salesman.
Somewhere out there,
That's a
very
song.
quietly, an Earthbound community Discord call is very angry. Thanks, Jeff. You're the best.
He came through for me on this run.
You did.
Didn't let me down at all.
Okay. And so this would be about where time would be on an 80% run. We still got more time to go.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff left still.
Yeah, but this has been a really great run so far.
Yeah,
He's done.
I couldn't be happier. All the scary stuff did not happen. I tried to come up with 10,000 backups and I didn't end up really needing any of them, but better safe than sorry.
So can we discuss Pokey's face? Does he have bangs that are covering his eyes? Are we
Yeah.
just seeing his nose and his mouth?
Yes. It's
Yes.
confusing
And he's blue.
though.
Like, he's
That
like
would be
sky
correct.
blue
That would be correct.
in his evil form.
Well, I think that's from the glass
Oh,
on the
I
front of
see.
his
It's
spider
tinted.
mobile.
Is
Yeah.
it?
So Bunch of Koopas is asking anime? I will say that I have started this train and have donated $5 of my own money to say anime.
No. No.
That was in all caps.
And for the record, this is intended. This is actually supposed to happen in
Yes.
Yes.
The
Don't
stream did
don't
not
adjust
cut
your
out.
TV screen.
the game. Oh, the TV turned off.
It always goes longer than I'm thinking it's gonna go, and I'm like,
Panic-stricken.
someone kick the
The
console.
cat. She's here with us. She snuck in.
Shoutouts to Callie the dog.
Violent.
All right.
So the gamble of
napping.
sending these kids' souls back in robot forms paid off, and they're gonna come back and they can live normal lives now.
Are those their souls like in Harry Potter?
Let's go with that.
I like that. For some reason, that entrance to the cave there, I can't not see a scary face in that. Do you guys see what I'm talking about?
I can't unsee it now that you've pointed it out.
Maybe that was intended, who knows?
It's like this game's all happy and upbeat, and then it gets to that last like little arc, and it's just nightmare fuel. Yeah,
Yeah.
Earthbound's a good game. You can get it on 3DS Virtual Console and Wii Virtual Console and try it out for yourself. The
Yes.
cartridges are really expensive. I see you have an authentic one here.
I do.
Oh, it's also on SNES Classic. I forgot about that one. But
Yes,
Yeah.
all formats are available. We don't expect you to go drop $200 for one. I'm lucky enough that I just had it from my childhood, because I don't know if I could have swung that $200 purchase.
the thing that terrified me was at Limit Break one year there was like 20 Earthbound runners in the practice room, all with authentic carts. I'm like, this must be the most expensive room in this state.
And if you are interested in running, repro carts are allowed as long as you make sure you have the correct ROM on there, because there's a bad repro ROM passed around that's missing some of the menu options.
So don't teleport here, right?
Don't teleport here,
Don't
thank
teleport.
you. See, normally I would teleport away from this in any other category, but there's still a photo I have to get, and because I did that exit mouse thing, I never got the Saturn Valley teleport location. So to come back to get the photo would cost me a few minutes.
And really, speaking of repro carts and that kind of shenanigans, this game actually has one of the most infamous anti-piracy measures ever. It supposedly, if you tried this game on a pirated copy, what would end up happening is the game would be far meaner on encounters, and then once you get to the final fight, the game would crash, and you
Erase
would
all your
erase
saves,
your save
yeah. Wow.
files. They were really anti-piracy. Supposedly, there's an action replay code you can also enter to simulate this effects. And
Essentially, what we saw in the beginning with all the sharks that caused the barricade skip, that's what you'll see everywhere. You'll fight like 5 crows at a time.
Well, I think I started something here. $5 from Lux Interior. Anime. We also have another $5 donation from Light Kitty Kara.
Hey, okay.
Light Kitty Kara? I apologize. Is it Kara or Kara?
I think Kara.
Hey guys, Kitty Kara here. Been a long weekend here modding in chat from Japan.
Wow.
And I have to donate to say, yes, anime is real. Also, anime!
Here we go.
We are-
Fuzzy Pickles.
Alright, I'm gonna try.
As the microphone comes crashing to the ground.
I'm gonna try another swag port here. I'm pretty bad at this one though.
That was a close one.
Got it.
Nice.
So the reason I could have gotten this photo anytime, but it's required that we pick up the backstage pass. He'll only give you the backstage pass when you rescue Paul the proper way. So I just didn't want that backstage pass clogging up my inventory for the rest of the run.
So we're really just kind of in the little encore part of the run here, but still plenty of time to donate, guys.
Yeah, we still got a whole
better
runaway 5
get 'em.
show. to
We're only
sit through.
260 away, guys.
We can do it. Get some big spenders in there.
Hey, big spender. Woohoo.
The Fuzzy Pickles are rampant in chat. It's great.
Bring
I
it
think we're
on.
getting our energy back. The night is not young,
How,
but we are close to the end here.
how much caffeine is there in a jar of fuzzy pickles?
Enough.
I hope so. But thank y'all for sticking with us.
Yeah, this has been quite the adventure.
Yeah, well, just both the run and the marathon.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic one. Can't thank the staff of Calithon enough for inviting me.
Here we go. Fuzzy Pickle.
I missed it.
So I mentioned before events that turn spawns back on. For some reason, when you get this diamond, it'll turn spawns back on. It's really because the same kind of mechanic where when this bulldozer pulls up, it's going to turn spawns off. And then as soon as he goes away, it turns them back on. So that's why I had to put it off until now.
I'm curious, can you still do the death glitch with the statue in this category?
Only not because I don't have Summers as his teleport. But there's other things I could have been able to do, like Mini Barf is still there. I could die to him. It would be the same basic thing. But again, because timing ends when you talk to Mom, you can't really do it, unfortunately, in a speed run. It's not like in a glitchless run where you can do some fun glitches at the end of a PB or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, the mechanic of if you didn't fight fights that the game thought you were going to fight, and then you fight them after Gygus and die, it creates all kinds of problems.
Yeah, definitely. This run's been in a few different marathons. It's usually part of a exhib at the end, so check that out if you haven't seen it. Is that the Shattered Man glitch? I feel like I'm
Yes,
mixing the name.
the
Yeah,
Shattered Man.
Shattered Man. I think that's so funny.
What's funny is I'm still doing a fight, And if I got like a lottery ticket of bad luck, like a 1 in a billion chance of 100 solidifies in a row, I could actually die to it and the run would be over. But let's just hope we use that luck for something good, not bad.
Bid war to end on that kind of note.
$27,000 more. Not at 27, but like 53,000.
So when you do this post Gygus, it doesn't change the Runaway 5 music when they run into this room. But we still get the sweet Runaway 5 music during this show. And there's no way to skip this show. You do need to do it because it opens up Department Store and there's a photo inside there. And if you try to go out of bounds to Department Store, you won't be able to get the photo.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Oh, these guys are killer.
Yeah. So just sit back, relax, and get those donations in while you're enjoying this Runaway 5 show, guys.
Got any to read? Go ahead.
And you may notice that there's actually 6 members of Runaway 5 here. We've all decided in the community that that's because the keyboardist there, we call him drumboardist. He's just a touring member of the band.
Oh, I see.
So he doesn't appear in all those cutscenes where they run into the room and stuff.
Who's playing that cymbal back there?
The drummer is just kind of casually.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
hitting
I
it
see.
with his
It's
left
clearly
drumstick.
the guy on the double bass. He's manipulating it with like the sound waves from the bass guitar. Shoutouts to Drumboardist. That's why I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, we love Drumbo.
Dude runs like some of the funniest games I've ever seen. I swear I remember that concert being longer, but I might just be thinking of Mother 3.
Yeah, the Venus show is very, very long,
Yeah.
but that particular one is actually not as long as you'd think. Alright, so only 2 photos left, right?
You got your museum entrance?
This is
Oh, this is
yeah.
it. Okay.
And then the
So then, yeah,
department
the
store,
last 2?
Yeah, so I haven't forgotten anything, right?
Come on, everyone, join in this last one.
Got one more after this.
After
but
that one,
feel
yeah.
free to. Let's go, guys.
Woohoo! Got 2 more.
Well, one more, and then the automatic one
Yes.
that they throw in your inventory.
Come on, everybody.
Paul is actually going to get kidnapped here, but thankfully we don't need her for anything anymore.
What a note to end the runoff.
But she'll
don't
still
need her.
she'll still be with us because if we try to go into Nessa's house at the end, she'll still talk to you. So I'm still going to try to do that tech skip, even though she's been kidnapped.
Hey, he's just bringing her home. Just been with a strange boy this entire time.
I always love the creepy music over the happy end music here. You're not supposed to hear that combo.
EarthBound is a video game.
I have always hated that too. He stares into your soul.
It's a shame we don't go to Moonside. It's like my favorite area in this game.
Yeah.
Be a long detour though.
There was a route where I went to Moonside specifically to turn spawns back off, but it did not obviously end up being worth it because there's nothing else you actually need there for photo percent. So we're hoping that a Dragonite and a bomb does the job here. Or I could use the backstage pass. Just wanted to delay the run a little bit more for you guys to get some donations in there. Oh, we did a life up, so... I'm short a bomb somehow here. It's okay. Yeah, I still got through the fight. I don't know how that happened. That's funny.
Beating the spook with the power of direct relief.
I have no idea where that extra bomb went. I'll have to go back and watch the run later.
About that Master Gygus avenging you,
All right, last one, guys. Get your fuzzy pickles ready.
Ooh.
Tech's with us here in spirit.
Yeah!
Yay.
Woohoo!
So, hurry up, guys, with those donations. Get them in. We got a little bit more time here before timing ends.
I'm sitting right here with my shades on. That's not important.
At 2 in the morning. I mean,
Indoors.
I mean, I did it too 2 days ago. I'm guilty as charged.
I'm still very confused where that bomb went. I can't let it go.
The great beyond.
So I mentioned that there is some text here that Paula says, and we can do a teleport to skip it. And it's funny that she still says it even when she's been kidnapped. And your mom will still talk about Paula as well. All right. So timing's coming up here. I'll let you know. And time.
Woohoo!
GG.
GG.
Yeah, 213 I'm really happy with. That's
I
pretty
love
awesome.
the dog. Everyone's dancing.
Gotta check that first photo, right?
So yeah, the photos don't pop up for a while, so I don't know if we're gonna get a chance to see them or not. But I just really want to again thank the whole staff, everyone that's
Yes, thank you.
done this whole week of amazing.
Woohoo!
Give a round of
work for
applause for
charity.
Awesome staff.
And thank you to Direct Relief for hosting us. You guys
Thank
are
you
awesome.
so much.
And thank you to everybody that donated and has been watching all week. You guys are the best.
Everyone who is still awake at this hour.
Yes,
Thank you.
we love you all.
Still got a good 20 people in this room.
We need those guys to come back. The star! Star
Wake
guys.
us all up.
I do have to get to sleep at some point. Got any special shout-outs you want to give?
Just shout outs to the whole EarthBound community. If anyone's interested in running EarthBound, go to speedrun.com/EarthBound, join the Discord, check out the guides there. We're all more than willing to help anybody out that wants to learn some new stuff. And I'd love to have more people running Photo Percent, honestly. It's a really fun category. You don't have to do all the manipulation I did, and I'd be more than willing to help you come up with more of a beginner-friendly route starting out. So, but yeah, everyone in the EarthBound community, you guys are fantastic. You always show me the love, and I love you guys. And shout-outs to Ghost, of course. Thank you so much for generously staying up so late to help us here.
Of course.
And Classic Tiff, I love you so much. You're the best. You kept me on track with those photos.
Hey!
Hey, we hit $27,000. Oh my
Yeah!
god.
Nice.
Woohoo!
With the
Oh,
with
that's
a very
awesome.
generous
Fuzzy pickles!
with $300 donated by our very own all-in-one Mighty. Fuzzy Pickles, I did it finally.
Woohoo!
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
That's
Mighty.
awesome.
Mighty's been working a lot on the tech desk. He's been hosting all weekend. Big shout-outs to Mighty.
But yeah, I guess that's it, guys. Thank you again for everything.